What's up, everybody? It's your favorite show, Get a Bucket. I'm your host, Trey, and as usual, hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful day. Hold on, let me get that camera situated. There we go. Now, we got some fellas up here that have been on the show before. But let's start it off with the people, or at least the person who has not been up here. Rick, how your day going, man?
Doing good, man. Glad to be here.
Hey, I appreciate that. I see you with the chain gang on them, too. I see you all right back.
No, man, I'm chilling, bro. I'm chilling.
Got the floss out there. All right, back. He got the light shining, you know what I mean? He's trying to look a little all right, back. Let me throw on a little bracelet or something. Trying to get closer. All right, back. Y'all still can't see it, but I got it on, though. You know, what's up. Fred, what you sipping on?
Nothing special, man. Just some rye whiskey, fresh from the decanter, man. With a craft cube.
Bad.
Time tolerate y'all on this show, my brother.
I hear that. And then we got the Rebel, because, he didn't want to fix his camera the way everybody else got their camera. So, that's just an explanation why his camera looked a little different. That's why. It's cool. No, keep it that way. You might as well. You are introduced as the Rebel. You might as well keep it like that. The Rebel.
I don't even know what's going on. It look normal on my side.
You gotta get the landscape, bro. Landscape, brother.
I gotta figure my life out. I'm a rookie.
I'm a rookie. Well, I mean, we all new to this, so it's all fun and game. So, with that being said, I kind of had a question for y'all, something light, right? Now, the top 5 NFL teams. I'm sorry, this is primarily basketball show, but we dabble in with a little football there. I talked to y'all last week, and I think based off the conversation, it's fair to say we had Bills, Chiefs, Miami, Bucs, and Eagles all in the starting in the top 5. And when I look at it now, and that was in order, by the way. I look at it now as this: the Dolphins, the Eagles, the Bills, the Chiefs, and then the Bucs with being potentially in for that 6th spot. Do y'all agree with that? I'm gonna let Rick go first, because he's a newcomer. So, Rick, what's your thoughts on that take? And again, it's the Dolphins, the Eagles, the Bills, the Chiefs, and the Bucs for my top 5.
I would rearrange it a little bit.
Okay.
So I would move Miami out of that number 1 spot. They did have a good showing this week against Buffalo. I think more impressively was their defense, right? Holding the Bills to 19 points. I'm sure, the conditions down there played a little part in it, with it being almost 100 degrees down there in Miami, you know what I'm saying? And they coming from Buffalo, and it's getting cold up here, so I think that played a little part in it. But when it came down to it, they gave up a lot of yards, they didn't break. But I would slide Philly in front of Miami. I would slide Philly in front of Miami, just for the simple fact that I like what I'm seeing from Jalen Hurts. I feel like the number 1 question coming into this year, I think we all thought Philly had a great roster, right? So with them having a great roster, I think the only question mark was, how would Jalen Hurts play? And his play has been inconsistent in the past, but I feel like he's remedied that just a little bit. And he has to continue to build on it, obviously, but I think the play that you see from him, the weapons he has on the outside with Devontae Smith, along with A.J. Brown, you got Dallas Goedert working the middle of the field for him. Defensively, the defensive line impressed me a lot this past week. The way they got after Carson Wentz, you know what I'm saying, may have been a little incentive behind that. They, a little, put some hits on them, you feel me? But
right.
End of the day, I think the secondary is solid, defensive line is solid. I think right now they should be number 1.
Okay. So that would be the main change with my starting 5, or with my top 5.
Yep.
Okay. And really quickly, because both of them said no to this statement, I believe. But is Jalen Hurts going to get MVP? Like, do you think Jalen's? Do you think he got a shot, like a legitimate, like a solid shot?
He has a legitimate shot if he continues to play like this. Okay. Now, I still think you got to put Lamar ahead of him right now.
Okay.
I think he's your number 1 right now. Just the way he's controlling everything, you know what I mean? So he's number 1, and Jalen is. I would put him in the 2nd spot, honestly.
Okay. Got you then. Now, And Freddie, how do y'all feel about the top 5? We got a little rearrangement from Rick real quick, but that's only at the 1 and 2. So I mean, how do y'all feel? And again, for the for everybody, it's the Dolphins, the Eagles, the Bills, Chiefs, and then Bucs.
And do you want to go next or last, bro?
You got it, Fred. I'll go last.
Okay. Yeah. So it's gonna be tough for me to put this in order, but I'm just gonna name my 5. Of course, Buffalo is there. Miami is definitely there. We have Philly's there. Baltimore is there. And Green Bay is there. I don't think the Bucs can be there because right before our eyes we're watching Tom Brady's cliff. He's not, nosediving, but he's that cliff is there. He's going down that. He's jumping off that cliff right now. We're watching it right before our eyes, and it's now. And I get his receivers have been out, but now we see guys like Leonard Fournette last year who was unstoppable. Now he's less effective because it looks like teams are sort of kind of daring Brady to beat them. He doesn't look like he can beat them. I mean, he looked like he lost about 80 pounds or whatever. So he looked like he lost about 80 pounds. So their defense is amazing. Of course, you have a change of coaching. So that style of play is going to be slightly different. Again, you have receivers in and out, whatever. I don't think they're as good as Green Bay. I think week 1 Green Bay is the same week 1 Green Bay we saw last year. The last 2 weeks, they made quick adjustments. Their defense is what it is. Philly, I have them in there. I don't think the end of the year they'll be there, honestly. I think they're the next few weeks will be more reality check for them. They played Minnesota. They played Carson Wentz, but they played Kirk Cousins in prime time, who was never a star in prime time. They played Detroit, who almost came back and beat them. And they gave up 30 points to Detroit. And then they played Carson Wentz. So I'm impressed by what Philly did. I'm impressed by what Jalen Hurts did, but I also saw the first quarter of what Jalen Hurts did versus Washington. And we spoke about this last time. I told you, teams are going to make him become a precise passer. In the first quarter, that's what Washington did. And he was like 2 of his first 10 or whatever. So thankfully, he got receivers that can make plays even if he's not accurate. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, so, I think Baltimore is definitely up there. They'll last there. Buffalo will be there as well. Miami will be there as well. Green Bay will be there. And I think right now the Eagles is probably the last team I will put in the top 5. But that's going to be very fluid for me.
Okay, in no particular order. Got you. Okay. Yeah. And how are you feeling? Are you rocking with my top 5? Are you more so on Rick's side, which again is just to flip the top 2, or are you going more so on Freddie's, or something different?
The only adjustment I would make is swapping out Green Bay for Tampa. I'm not too sure about the order yet. That's going to take some time to really figure out. I like Philly at number 1 for right now.
Okay.
They seem to be the most complete, well-oiled machine that's moving right now. They're really putting teams down. They're scoring points. Jalen Hurts is doing what I needed him to do to earn those points from me. Defensively, they look great. Far as what Fred talking about, I'm not falling for that Tom Brady clip. I'm not willing to do that yet. We'll see where Tampa ends up, but the whole NFL is one big question mark for the most part. And is through history, when these weird years are occurring, Tom Brady always seemed to be the one to figure it out before everybody else. And we'll see where that goes. So right now, I do have Philly at 1.
Okay.
Swap Green Bay out for Tampa, and the rest of the order, you can kind of place that wherever you may. That's where I'm at with everything.
All right.
Okay.
2 quick questions.
We gonna have to move past it because every time you ask a question.
Well, no, it's just two simple questions.
But the answer is what I'm talking about. Go ahead.
I just want to hear the
feedback.
One was with the Brady thing. Don't y'all think that this year the excuses around Brady is slightly different? Usually it's, the other players didn't make plays, right? Brady's usually able to do more with less. This year we see he can't do that.
Save that then, because I do have a section for Tom Brady. So
okay,
save that. Yes. So remember, and what's your second question?
Well, now, so my second question was just with Jalen Hurts and how they're starting off against these less than stellar teams.
We got the Eagles section covered, so I remember both of them questions.
Bookmark both of those there.
Bookmark them. Now, fellas, I got a question though. Who's y'all most exciting NFL player to watch right now? I think we finished off with Ant, so let's start it off with Ant this go round.
It's Lamar, man. It's Lamar, and I think that's going to be the census throughout the group today. The dude is just so dynamic. It's must-see TV between the throws, the running ability, just the flashiness. Every box is checked. He looks even better than he did during his MVP year. I saw that he's on track to have about 60 touchdowns.
68 touchdowns. That's wild.
Crazy. Obviously, I don't think he will do that, but
never know.
It's amazing to watch, especially with the situation at hand, with him betting on himself, playing a very risky game, and it's going to end up being owed $400 million because Baltimore want to be ignorant. This is ridiculous, and they should be ashamed of themselves. And this man should have been paid before it even became a thing.
Yeah,
and I just hope he tear the league up and just make them eat their words at this point.
Yeah, and it's funny too because like you're saying he's the most exciting from a talent perspective, but like when you add on the drama that he has from the Ravens, it's like the ignorance that is just displayed. Like, you got to pay the man. Like, I understand y'all want to be cheap, but you got to pay the man. But that just adds more drama, more excitement to it. So like, I also agree that was gonna be my answer. Maybe I should have led with that. Fred, what you got? Is it also Lamar, or is it someone else for you?
Well, yeah. So I think the universal answer is Lamar, but I'm gonna stay away from that. Now I'll give you a different answer. I'll go with Jalen Waddle. And I've been high on Jalen Waddle since last year. I talked about him, I think, last episode as well when I was here with you. And his ability, man, to make a big play when they need it is always timely, right? We watched him versus Buffalo. They bottled up Tyreek Hill. Jalen Waddle was bottled up for a while. And then exactly when they needed a big play, I believe it was 3rd and long. One of y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. Jalen Waddle comes through deep through the middle. Boom. Right? Big play. Ended up with, I believe, 100 yards. Last year, people said Tua didn't have an arm. Jalen Waddle still ended up with like 100 catches and 1,000 yards. This year, I believe he's added on to that. He's impossible to guard, incredible speed, highlight role. So Jalen Waddle definitely is my guy. And if you ask me for a defense, I would say Michael Parsons.
Okay. I got you, though. I got you. We only got to give one, though. You can only give one, though. So, most exciting player. Rick.
Yeah, defense and offense, yeah.
There's only one. We're not doing defense and offense. He always trying to cheat.
We don't give defense enough love. My fault.
I mean, you led with offense. To be fair, I'm just saying. Rick, who you got?
I think, like both of them said, the universal answer is Lamar. We know that. But to go off script a little bit, I'm going to say Saquon.
Okay.
Just for the simple fact that it's good to see him forming into a role that we all thought he would be coming out of Penn State, right? I think when he came out of Penn State, we seen him to be a complete running back. I mean, he has vision, quickness, good feet, speed. I could be a little biased because I was a former running back myself, but I'm going to say Saquon just for the simple fact that it's good to see him back on track, injury-free. I still would like to see the team around him be a little bit better so he can showcase a little bit more of his talent. But I think from a running back standpoint, what more can you want out of a running back? I still think he's one of probably top 3 most talented backs in the league right now. Easily hands down when you factor in catching, receiving, running, blocking. He's a better blocker than most people expected as well. So I'm gonna go with Saquon right now.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess if I got to go off script, Lamar's tough, Saquon cool, and Fred, who are you leaning with again? Which one are you going with?
Jalen Waddle.
Okay. The Waddle, I got to say, I like his dance in the end zone. But fellas, I think for real, we got to look at this, and I think we kind of being disrespectful to Baker Mayfield. I think he's the most.
Hands to the show, report the page.
Nah, I think honestly, man, like if I gotta take out Lamar, I might have to go Tyreek Hill or Tua, only because right now there's so much centered around those two. I could also think of Jalen Hurts, or I could go the defensive route. Like I think of those two players though first, just because of the excitement that I get. Like you said, Freddie, that duo like Tua has could be an astounding one. Like when you said top 2 all time duo wide receiver wise. So I mean, if we got that, and I think Tyreek Hill might be the better one. That I could just be biased, but like that he's electrifying, fast as hell. Like just like I don't know how he gets open past the defense like that. That's just pure speed, bro. Like so, just to watch excitement to see happen, that might have to be my answer personally. If we're taking Lamar off the table, because again, I already said last time he's the most impactful player in the game, so that goes easy. But I just wanted to get y'all thoughts on that. Now we got here, Freddie. This is one of your questions, I believe. So get ready. But the Eagles, their overall team play. Should I put my money down for these boys to win the Super Bowl? I remember someone said the Bills were going to get to the Super Bowl, and it sounded like they were Bills happy. I'm like, y'all Bills happy. So I mean, have the Eagles done enough now to convince y'all to say the Bills are going to lose, and recognize that Bills fans might be watching this? So are y'all comfortable saying that? Fred, go ahead.
All right, real quick because I didn't look.
Yeah, yeah.
One of you guys, did Minnesota make the playoffs last year? Okay, so they played Minnesota, they played Detroit, and they played the Commanders. The Commanders, right? Carson Wentz and the Commanders. None of those teams were playoff threats last year, right? That's who they beat so far. We saw a similar approach how Jalen Hurts is going to. Granted, he's like running like 15 times a game. When we saw a similar approach, a great hot start with Dallas a few years back when Dak was playing for his contract, right? He bet on himself. After about 4 or 5 games, things went downhill. I'm not saying the Eagles are going to go downhill because their defense is the real deal. I don't think we can deny how good their defense is. And they have a lot of weapons. But the same as I said last week, teams are going to start figuring out Jalen Hurts. I don't care what you say. It's fun to watch him right now. He seems to be a great leader. He has A.J. Brown, he has Dallas Goedert, and he has Devontae Smith, right? There's going to come a time where you cannot rush the ball as a quarterback 20 times, and you have to pass the ball 40 times accurately. The first quarter of last game versus Washington, we saw that with our own eyes, bro. He was not accurate. He was forced to stay in that pocket and pass that pill, and he could not do it accurately. Now, Washington fell apart after that, and they were leaving people wide open. And then if you got A.J. Brown, he literally was just making amazing plays, him and Devontae Smith. I think we're going to see more of that down the stretch. So to answer your question, no, I don't think come October, November, December, this offense is going to be as dynamic as they are now. I think we'll see Jalen Hurts regress a bit, and in turn, we'll see overall Philly start to lose a little bit more games. They play tougher competition, and there's a little bit more tape out there on what they're able to do with this new weapon that they have in A.J. Brown. So I think there's Green Bay that'll be ahead of them in the NFC. I think naturally Tampa, when it comes playoff time, Tom Brady will be ahead of them. And obviously the former Super Bowl champions Rams will be ahead of them as well. So to answer your question, bro.
So I got to say, and I'll let you guys go real quick, but I think it's a little bit disrespectful how we're going at the Vikings right there when you said the Vikings didn't make the playoffs last year. But, like, right now they're third in the standing. So if we cut the season short right now, they're in the playoffs. Something like that. Well, the reason I'm saying is, like, I feel like you're harping on last season. And, like, for me personally, when I look at it, and let's say, for example, when I'm playing fantasy football, it's not necessarily wise always to bank on what folks did last season. You know what I'm saying? So it might be a different season. So that's why I'm saying personally, this Vikings team. I understand you still got Kirk Cousins. You got a wonderful offensive tandem on that field though. So they got a three-headed monster on there, and the defense ain't trash, I don't think. So I mean,
they lost Anthony Barr.
I mean, do you think they're trash? Like, where would you rank their defense?
I just don't think they're a threat. I don't think the Vikings are a threat. And Kirk Cousins doesn't play big in primetime games. I actually like Kirk Cousins, but he isn't that guy to play big in primetime games. That's all I'm saying. Like, even them washing up the Packers, it's not believable.
I'm just trying to say the Eagles, the team that they played, it's not like they've just played scrubs all around. Like, the Commanders aren't as bad as as their record shows. The Lions have actually been surprising. I can't bet no more on the Lions automatically losing. That blows me. I lost 50. So I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so like I'm still kind of tight about that. But like, Rick, and what y'all think though? Because I feel like you guys are pro Eagles. So
I'm gonna go ahead and say, you can.
Eagles will fly. That's what he said. They're gonna soar.
When you look at the NFC, it is wide open, right? Who is someone that you can say is, head and shoulders above, what the Eagles have put on paper so far, right? And I know, Fred, you mentioned the schedule, and who they played, and I got the schedule up right now. Their next opponents: the Jaguars, the Cardinals, the Cowboys, the Steelers, the Texans, the Commanders again, the Colts. You know what I'm saying? That's another 6-7 games where you got to say now, can they go on a run here to put them in a number one seed kind of position? And when you talk about number one seed, and now you're talking about home games in the playoffs. So home versus away matters in the playoffs, right? Home field advantage matters in the playoffs. Coming up to Philly, Philly has one of the toughest crowds to play in front of. I think anybody coming into that environment can struggle at any given Sunday, right? So, I think what they put on paper versus what everybody else has put on paper. Now it's still early. Now we 3 games into the season. There's still a lot that has to be played out. But right now, who else can you say definitively is better than the Eagles right now coming out of the NFC?
And are they getting hot too early? You know how that goes.
That's another thing too. You gotta catch fire at the right time.
The factor.
I mean, confidence goes a long way. If you are playing cupcakes at the beginning of the season, it could make all the difference going forward. Your confidence goes up, and have you making plays that you normally wouldn't make.
Yeah. And what's your take? It sounds like we got an Eagles yes and an Eagles no.
I think Philly's going to have a really good record. I think they're going to be sustainably good. Will I pick them coming out of the NFL? Do I think they will be a legitimate threat? Yes. They have a very soft schedule coming up. They play the Steelers. That's going to be tough. They play the Packers. That's going to be tough. They play the Warriors. You get like the
They play Jacksonville.
Cowboys. Like those
respect Jacksonville.
Don't sleep on it. But you got to respect Jacksonville because again, you cannot put money that they're gonna automatically
They've been hooping this year.
No more. Trust me, I've already done it. They owe me 50.
I just think Philly is actually that good. Miles Sanders stay healthy. If you look at his yards off the line of scrimmage, he's top tier, right? He's a top tier back from that perspective. I'm not speaking from a talent perspective or dominant run game perspective. Miles Sanders puts up numbers. If he stays healthy, that's a threat. Jalen Hurts, who continues to get better and be consistent, have moments. Philly will be okay. Again, they don't have a tough schedule, but they do have the genetic makeup to do damage as the season goes on.
Yeah. I gotta say, fellas, their defense looked pretty good. So, I know, Freddie, you were talking about Jalen not being able to sustain that level of success, but this team does kind of give me Panthers vibes. When we went 15-1, I can't hold you. Like that defense we had, it backed up Cam because there were some games we shouldn't have won. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was worried about us maybe we peaking too early, but that defense looks solid. Like Fletcher Cox, Javon Hargrave, them boys are smooth. And I gotta give a shout out to James Bradbury. He's from my Panthers, so I ain't mad if y'all win on the low, only because Bradbury up there though. But that team is solid though, so I'm not saying they're gonna win.
Saying,
but
get
I'm
there.
not mad. I'm not mad at putting money on them though. Like if I had to throw a quick $20 on $10, I'm not mad. That's money I'd be willing to lose if push comes to shove. So like that, it's starting to creep up there for me. Like they creeping up there a little bit for me. But we can move past this team though, because there's 3 other teams I want to talk about. Rick, this will be a first timer for you and Freddie. We're gonna rehash the Bills versus Chiefs versus Miami Dolphins. Now, after this past week, what's your takes on them? Like, has anybody changed their minds? Again, we got the Bills. Y'all were saying the fans are crazy, but the team is smooth. The Chiefs, like you can kind of still believe in Patty Mahomes, and then Miami, well, you know they've been doing their thing. Would you guys switch these at all for you guys? Like what's the order would you say for this in terms of getting to the Super Bowl? Who would you believe in more so? Is it the Bills, like I think you guys were stating last year or last episode, or the Chiefs, or have the Dolphins now crept into your mind? Let's start with Rick.
I think who I would trust the most is probably the Chiefs, to be honest with you. I know the easy answer will be the Bills, but after what I just seen on Sunday, I'm not afraid because they are immensely talented, right? But the usage of Josh Allen scares me. The usage of Josh Allen scares me. Now, you are asking him to literally do everything on offense. He's running the ball. He's throwing the ball. The offensive coordinator for some reason refused to call the run play. He refuses to call the run play, right? So I feel like Josh Allen is 98% of that offense. Now I feel like there's a chance by week 8 he may be burnt out. You're talking about a team that's wanting to go into like make a deep run into the playoffs, and you got him running quarterback design runs on the 3-yard line on the goal line and getting smacked. Like you're calling this on a week 3 match.
But he is a big boy though.
I understand.
He's a big boy now.
Those hits take a toll now. This
they
not
do.
Football. It's not college football. It's not. This is the NFL. These are grown men out here, right?
They do.
So I'm looking at. I'm worried about his usage now. On paper, I would pick the Bills, but I slightly trust the Chiefs more than I would trust the Dolphins right now, just for the simple fact of quarterback play. I trust Mahomes more than I would trust Tua, in a big spot to make big plays down the stretch. And I honestly, but I would say the Chiefs out of any of them.
Okay. And you rolling with the Chiefs, or you still rocking with the Bills, or is Miami in the mix for you? Like how we looking? What team's more comfortable for you?
Me, Trey, because it's kind of right now.
Yeah, you.
I'll say this: I trust the Chiefs the most out of the 3. I don't think they're the best team out of the 3. Right? That's quarterback. They got the best coach. I have concerns with each of those 3 teams. Like Rick said, the usage of Josh Allen out of control. The man threw 60 passes last week, 62, I believe to be exact, and that's kind of crazy. Don't run the ball, and what they're starting to have happen to them is they're starting to get these weird injuries now. A lot of dudes popping up on the injury report. I'm worried about Buffalo peaking too early. They got a tough schedule coming up, so we're really going to see what they're made of in the coming weeks. This game against Baltimore is going to say a lot. Josh Allen versus Lamar, we already know how that's going to go. Far as Miami, it's a lot of growing that needs to be done. They haven't been successful in a while. A fairly new coach. He's just trying to figure it out. Defensively, they look good in moments. Tua looks good, but we got to see if we can really trust them when it's go time. Do this a few different times, not just every once in a while. I trust Kansas City. We know what Mahomes is. We know what Andy Reid is. And those guys are going to figure it out at some point to start looking better as time goes on. That's my answer.
Okay. Fred, you look a little excited, like you got something to say.
Nah, light bulbs go off randomly with crazy people like me. Anywho, so
shots fired, bang bang.
I'm not as high as on the Chiefs. They just lost to the Colts, by the way, who I think I actually will turn it around. But I actually have the Chiefs.
With Matt Ryan?
Yeah.
Hell no.
Yeah, I think they will.
That's another.
But anyway, let's start for those guys. So, I mean, look what they did with Carson last year, right? Anywho, so I have Chiefs the fourth best team in the AFC, possibly the fifth. We'll see. I have Lamar and those guys as the third. I have Buffalo as number 2. I think Buffalo will be like the early 2000s Philadelphia Eagles. Most years, NFC Championship, second round, right? They just could never get there. Eventually they got there, but they just could never really get there. It was always something that happens. I think this Miami Dolphins team, they remind me of, remember the Golden State Warriors with Mark Jackson? Right?
Don't do it.
That's crazy.
No, listen, no, I'm onto something.
So
Golden State Warriors, listen, with Mark Jackson, right? They lost Mark Jackson. Everybody went crazy. But they get this genius and Steve Kerr who comes in there, boom, take off, right? Now, they got rid of Brian Flores, who was doing great stuff for them. He's out. I'm still sad about that. Come in, bring in a new coach. You bring in this super explosive weapon in Tyreek Hill. You bring Raheem Mostert. You bring in Edmonds. You buffer that offense up. And this Miami team looks good. The question mark that we had about Tua, his arm, look at what he's doing. Look what he did versus Baltimore. Came back from 20 points down to beat Baltimore. He got injured versus Buffalo, went out, they started to struggle, came back because he's showing his toughness, and look what he does to will them to that win, right? Even with his punter almost cost him the game. Like, listen, this Miami team has showed some resiliency early on. They beat some good teams. The 2 best teams to me in the AFC they beat. We can't just ignore that. They're out there doing some stuff, and their defense made big plays against Josh Allen. I know he's not the most clutch quarterback.
Freddie, let me ask you this.
Yep.
Do you feel like are peaking too early? Like, could that same thing apply to them?
So,
because you say that for the Eagles, and I mean they both.
So I'll answer that. Yep. So I think the Eagles are beating terrible teams without much controversy.
Okay.
Aside from that,
Detroit they
faced a little bit. Okay. But for Miami, they beat the 2 best teams in the AFC with controversy. So you know how that goes, right? You play off battle test.
Okay. Okay, I got you. Okay. All right. I mean, that's cool. I feel that. So, I mean, it sounds like you got Miami and 2 Chiefs. I'm going to rock with the Bills then, just because I feel like I might go to New York. You know, I might visit at some point in time. I don't need nobody saying like, hey, Trey, you didn't pick us. Like, nah, I picked y'all. I feel like after what y'all was talking, I'm a little more scared of them than I am Miami fans and Chiefs fans. So I might be a little more nervous. But that's a solid little battle we got there. Now, Fred, I do think this is another one you noted. So we got Tom Brady versus Aaron Rodgers. Now, this was a good one, Fred. I think we'll let you go first again just because you had another question that you wanted to throw out there.
I said bookmark and then I forgot about it. Oh, no, I think we talked about it. So with Tom Brady, usually when their team is struggling early on, the excuses usually are a bit different from what they are now, right? Tom Brady's not making the plays that he used to be able to make back in the day when he was the guy who can do more with less better than anyone else and still win, right? Can make that clutch play down the stretch, right? They haven't scored 20 points yet, right? People are saying, oh, he's missing Godwin, he's missing Mike Evans.
Mike Evans was missing, yeah.
So there we go. Coming into that game, people were like, oh, well, Brady's missing all of his receivers. We forget that Sammy Watkins is on IR. They're the rookie that Christian Watson didn't play. My guy isn't there anymore. Devontae Adams. Aaron Rodgers doesn't have any of his receivers either, right? He's going into the season without that. But people don't give him that excuse. I think now, this year, we're giving Brady excuses we normally didn't give him. And I think it's more so for me, not what you say, but what you do in a sense. And what people are doing is giving Brady excuses he didn't get, which lets me know that people believe he may be on the cliff because they're giving him a little bit more cushion, a little bit more leeway, if you will.
I mean, can we give the man a little pass? He is 45. He's gonna be getting a Social Security check before long. So I mean, can we give him a little pass? Just a little. I don't want to compare him to Aaron Rodgers.
No, you know why? This is the reason why they said he was the best player in the NFL. I believe it was Pro Football Focus or whatever. Said he was the best player in the NFL. The players deemed him the best player in the NFL. I don't believe that. I know that's not the fact, actually. But that's why I can't give him no break, man.
Okay, so let me ask you guys then this, Rick. And are y'all? Do you feel like we're being unfair and not giving Brady enough criticism, or should we give him a little bit of a pass? Because again, the man is 45 years old. Freddie.
A pass?
So yeah. So we give him a pass on his passing. Should we give him a pass on his passing?
The man got 7 rings. He ain't getting no pass from me.
They just said he was the best player in the NFL, man.
Yeah, that is true. They did say that. I forgot all about that, actually. I'm not giving them a pass. I think, they can figure it out. I think they got some issues, though, mainly up front. Brady never been hit like this. They lost a guy to retirement. They lost a guy to injury. They lost 2 guys to free agency, and I believe they're down 2 additional linemen just off of this year. Big body Gronk ain't there to do what Gronk usually does for time, so things look a little different. I really got no opinion on the Bucs right now, other than them needing to figure it out. They do have some holes, but back to your question, Trey, I don't see Brady needing any excuse or getting any from my perspective. And I think that's the general consensus from general fans. The man got 7 rings and you ain't getting no excuse from the
Yep.
Okay. All right. So his GOAT status is hurting him. Rick, how you feeling? Are you on the same wavelength? Or can we give Brady a little pass? I'm saying,
I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I'm gonna give him a little pass, man.
I knew there was one. So like, what's your reasoning? Are you a nice guy, or you got like a?
Nah, I just know greatness, right? We've seen Brady look horrible in the past before, right? And figure it out, like we talked about before. They figure it out before anybody else does. They have bounced back. Fred, what you said about Aaron Rodgers, about his receiving threats, and not having those. We knew Aaron Rodgers all year wasn't gonna have those, right? Like, his roster just didn't hold any of those receiving threats. Mike Evans is a receiving threat. Chris Godwin is a receiving threat. These guys will be coming back into the lineup shortly, and they will make a big difference. And I do hear what you're saying about offensive line. That's huge, right? But one thing we always know is Tom Brady will figure it out. He'll find a way to get the ball out faster if he has to. He'll, call more screen plays. And right now, that's one of his big things is, throwing screens to Chris Godwin, quick screens to him, letting him, take off. But he doesn't have those receivers right now to supplement that and, get some of this pass rush off of him, right? So I feel like as the season goes on, I've seen him do it too many times to bet against him. Me personally, I don't like Tom Brady, right? I don't like it. With the college in a Massachusetts area. So all you see is Tom Brady this, Tom Brady that. I couldn't stand the guy. You know what I mean? Not a huge fan at all. But I respect greatness, right? You keep betting against this guy, he gonna keep biting you. So I give him the benefit of the doubt and we'll say that he will figure this out with time.
Okay. All right. I mean, I gotta look at it like this, fellas. Like you didn't have Mike Evans, Godwin, Julio, they questionable. Even my boy Gage, who's on my fantasy team, couldn't really finesse what I needed him to. So I'm like, it's looking a little shaky. So I'm gonna give him a pass just because it's early. Like, I gave Aaron Rodgers a pass. Week 1, they looked abysmal.
I ain't giving AR no pass either.
So here's the thing. They look. Here's the. I know he gonna turn it around though. So if you keep doing this consistently, like, all right, about like week 4, 5, like I'm gonna say something's off. He turned it around after that though. So I'm doing the same with Tom Brady. Plus I'm factoring again, the man is 45 years old and is apparently psychotic and I gotta agree with my man Steph. There is something wrong with the man. He would rather get smacked around by Aaron Donald than have fun time with his wife, who is a supermodel, I would like to say. So there's something up.
You know what I'm saying?
The elevator is not going to. So like, you gotta give him some time.
So what?
Crazy.
Psycho time, man. They call him Psycho time for a reason, right?
He gotta be. Now, these two boys might be a little crazy their daggone selves, though. And it's wild because, again, I stated the Jaguars, you can't bet against them right now losing. So, Trevor Lawrence, he's playing real well. And Justin Herbert, hey, them Chargers is
No. Let me get
real
on
charge right
to
now.
that real quick, Trey. Let me get to that. I told people early in the year, you cannot trust the Raiders. The Derek Carr, very talented, can't be trusted. And I'm not, on paper, the Chargers should be wild. But I wouldn't be surprised if things go a little left. And what is happening is what I said. They don't really scare you offensively. Austin Eckler, not a necessary thing.
Whoa. Run that back.
Eckler don't
Run that back. Because this man is carrying my family.
No, let him dig his hole, Trey. Let him dig his hole.
Hey, Austin Eckler ain't scaring nobody defense. All right. They have Keenan Allen, who is amazing. But that offense isn't firepower enough to really put fear in you. Like, defensively, they got a lot of these pieces that look great on paper. It has yet to come to formation. And then we got Joey Bosa, who just went on IR for about 2 weeks for the Broncos. It doesn't surprise me that the Chargers don't look good. I don't think they will continue to look worse, but what their early season woes don't surprise. That's all I got.
They got some injuries. I think that's factoring into them right now. But when I look at the Chargers, I got to say they do seem impressive. Like that Chiefs game they had, only losing 3 points, that's not bad. And again, that's the Chiefs. That's a team we know, and they going through their issues too, but
they got issues.
Still Patty Mahomes. So I like the Chargers personally. It's really the Jaguars though that's throwing me for a loop. Because again, this is a team where Gardner Minshew was looking like he might be the guy for them. And they get Trevor Lawrence, you know what I'm saying? Like that it's wild. Is it fair to say? Cause I remember you guys were saying that Justin Herbert is that dude, like he's solid. Like we were talking about him almost in the same breath as Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. Is it fair to say that Trevor Lawrence is going to get there like this season? Because the Jaguars is looking again tough. I'm not going to automatically assume they're going to lose the game again. I learned my lesson, Trevor. My bad. Like, how do y'all feel about Trevor and the Jags? Like, is Trevor better than can Trevor get to Justin's level this season? Is he already there? What y'all feeling? Rick, let's start with you.
I don't think it's gonna happen this season.
It's too early.
It's way too early. I think they're putting a good show on paper. First few weeks of the season, I still think they got a young coach. Young players. I think they are surprising some people right now. Like you said, you can't just bet against them. A lot of people may have been coming into the season this year thinking that way, like, oh, we got the Jaguars, that's a win, right? But now they're opening eyes. As the season goes on and expectations grow, let's see if they can continue this. And that's going to be the key. I think Trevor Lawrence is very talented, though. Coming out of Clemson, I thought he was. I thought he was in a bad situation with the Urban Meyer thing and all that was going on last year. I think he's in a bad position, but I think he still has a lot of room to grow. He's going to get some pieces around him as his career goes on. I think he will reach those top tier quarterbacks. But right now, I don't think it's there yet. It's way too early. I would not put that on him.
Okay. Now, is there anything that he can do this season to get to that level? Like, because I'm not gonna lie. Let's say the Jags rattle off a 12-win season. I think we might be talking about Trevor Lawrence's MVP. Just saying, like, we might have to be talking about my man's MVP. Would that put him in the ranking then in the upper echelon of quarterbacks, or y'all just saying that's a fluke, like that's an anomaly? Like like what y'all thoughts? Like is that fair? Like would that put him in the same rankings as a Justin Herbert, as a Patrick Mahomes, as a Josh Allen, when like getting to that MVP ranking by getting that 12-win game for the season?
Nah, I don't know. Trevor Lawrence would have to string together a couple of good seasons to be mentioned in that.
Okay.
Fan of crowning people too early. You know, you got to see the resume first, right? I can't give you much of anything off of one season. Bring together a couple good ones, and then we'll start that conversation. There are very rare cases where you see just small glimpses of a player, and you're like, yo, Mahomes was like that for me. Lamar came that very quickly, almost overnight. His MVP season, nobody expected him to put the numbers up that he put up. It's a very select few guys. Justin Herbert's one of those guys too. So
Okay. So it's over time.
Progressively gotten better. He didn't flash off the screen at first. He progressively has gotten better each year at work on his game.
Right.
Similar to Jalen Hurts as well. So it was a slower process with those guys. I think Trevor Lawrence falls into that category. So it's going to be a little bit before he gets that prime. But it's possible. Talent's there.
Okay.
Just got to see what happens with it.
Okay. I got you. Fred, what's one thing that you want to see Trevor Lawrence improve for this season then? Because I think what it sounds like is he can't, get to that level of the Patrick Mahomes like this season. But so what's that one thing that you want to see him do this season? I know there's a lot. There's a lot of
I was just gonna say, ultimately, bro, just consistency, right? I think we can compare him coming in as like how Brett Favre was, how Peyton Manning was, kind of a even Joe Burrow to a lesser degree, right? Coming in that first year, just kind of look. We can see the potential and what he can be. We can see the stature and build. But then we need to see the consistency, less turnovers, better control of the game, right? Pace of game and things like that, understanding. Like Rick said, he had, the coach, Urban Meyer last year, right? New coach this year, I think that's closer to understanding what you need to do for him. So I think that's all and then just a consistent run game as well, which seems like they kind of have this year along with a better defense. So his consistency should come along with that. He doesn't have to make every play every single time, right? He's understanding pre-snap reads more. He has another weapon in Christian Kirk. So if he can be a 250 to 300 yard per game guy, right? 2 touchdowns, even if he's getting 1 to 1.5 per game, just control the game. And you wilding about
I think that's
Chargers,
reasonable.
But I won't get into that. You tripping?
Who? I'm tripping?
No, and tripping what he said about the Chargers. Yeah.
Bring it up. What you talking about, bro?
All right, we got a little time.
Okay, I guess we do that. Listen, man, you said their offense don't scare you.
Yeah.
Herbert matched up against Mahomes. He matches him stat for stat. But more importantly, this was a 5,000-yard, 35-touchdown quarterback last year, bro. Eckler is one of the most dangerous dual threat backs in the league, bro. They have one of the best wide receiver tandons in the league, bro. Like, what are you talking about? They don't scare you. Are you crazy?
That offense not explosive, bro.
What are you talking about? We got 5. All right.
It's not.
Next. Oh my Lord.
Okay.
Well,
so real, you don't have to go in detail. I just want to know.
It's not.
The Chargers just played the Jaguars, and the Chargers, they lost 38-10. So
Herbert
we run that back,
ribs, bro.
That's what I'm asking. We run it back, right? We run
I
it back.
hear
Everybody
that.
healthy.
Right.
Everybody healthy. What we got Chargers winning or the Jags winning. I'm just curious because again, Trevor Lawrence versus Justin Herbert still got it up here.
I don't know, bro. Jags look kind of serious.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. It might not be 38-10, but
either
y'all on FanDuel right now. You gotta put $10 down on somebody.
I know where I'm going.
I will put my money on Chargers if I had to put money, but I don't like the Jaguars. Look like they look serious, bro. They got the kicking game, the running game, the passing game, the defense, strategic play call.
Okay, so we got 10 on the Chargers, and you got 10 on.
Yeah, you breaking up, Trey. I ain't really good enough.
You got 10. Which one you got 10 on? And you got are you putting $10 on the Chargers or $10 on the Jaguars? Both teams healthy.
I'm putting 10 on the Chargers.
Okay, 10 on the Chargers. Rick, who you got?
Chargers, hands down.
Okay.
150,000.
So I studied out of code right now for 20. Drop. Okay. Say. Go. I would hate to bet against the Jags again because again I lost 50, but I might have to go Chargers as well, just because if they're healthy, I think they're better. But it's tough against the Jags right now. It's tough against the Jags. So, but that is a little trending. It's a little transition onto my Would You Rather segment. So, Rick, all we do here is just I ask you a quick question about which teams about to play, who you feel like is going to win, which one, why, real quick. Don't have to be anything like extensive. So, just for example, we talk about the Cowboys and the Rams. Cowboys are going to be playing at the Rams. So, who would you rather put your money on and give me the reason why?
Rams.
Okay. What's your reason? What's your reasoning?
That Cooper Rush stuff coming to an end. I mean, it's cute right now, but that ain't gonna last. So I got So Dak's job is intact. What I'm hearing, he cool. 100%. Okay. Fred, and y'all different from that, or y'all still rolling with Rick?
I'm with Rick.
Okay.
Cowboys
stick with Rick.
You said Cowboys versus Rams, right? I didn't miss that.
Yes, sir. Cowboys, and they're at Rams, and they're at the Rams.
The champs.
Okay. I mean, y'all put me in an awkward spot. I don't really like the Cowboys like that, but I guess I got to say the Cowboys just because they got no love. Damn, I understand why America's team quote unquote. I don't know, man.
Everything.
I hear you. It's just any given Sunday, man. Like, and for whatever reason, I honestly feel like the football gods are trying to make fans and Jerry really say, do we really need Dak Prescott? We're going to let them win enough games. We're going to be like, do they really need Dak Prescott?
Jerry's saying, isn't that the most Dallas Cowboy thing ever, bro?
Mm-hmm.
That's fitting for the Cowboys.
You say it's the most Dallas Cowboy thing
ever?
Yeah,
they always find ways to get in their own way and create unnecessary controversy. He's a backup, man. Let him be a backup. He did his job. Now bring your starter back in.
To be fair, I think the Eagles fans rather would have Nick Foles than Carson Wentz. So, sometimes backup.
MVP that year. He was an MVP candidate that year.
Fair, but to be fair, Dak got injured week 1. So we can't really say, you know what I mean?
Dak stayed hurt. That's a fact.
I'm saying, they damn won, Vivian. It's tough. It's tough. So, but I think we all are saying Rams. I'm saying Cowboys because we're all saying Rams. I just want to throw that out there. Raiders at Chiefs. Now, I am on record for saying I'm trying something new. So I did have the Raiders going to the Super Bowl. It's week 3 though, so we got a lot more football left. And I said that way before the season started. And again, it's a lot. Do the Raiders have a chance at beating the Chiefs? Because they're 0-3 right now. So I think it's safe to say we got the Chiefs. But is there a chance? Is there a good chance that Devontae Adams say, "Dog, I left my man's Aaron Rodgers come over here. Let's get this dub. Let's stop playing around." Is it fair to say we gonna let the Raiders gonna do that?
Anybody gonna go first?
Anybody. I don't think
my reasons have nothing to do with football. It's just, with.
Go ahead. You talking
about
one?
They lost to the Colts last week, so I feel like the Raiders would beat them if they lost to the Colts. With 2, bro, they're 0-3, bro. They can't go on 4. I just don't think they can go on 4. That has nothing to do with the quarterback.
They can.
Bro. They can't go on 4.
They can. They can. Just ask the Lions. Bro. You can go 0-4.
Them boys look crazy.
I hope not, man.
Them boys look crazy up there in Las Vegas.
It looks a little tough. On the plus side, though, well, I guess not on the plus side because the Aces won the championship. So y'all got to live up to high expectation, Raiders. Come on now, tighten up out there. At least get a W. They did. It's disgusting. Oh my gosh, Rick. Just to be clear, you Chiefs, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. I felt like he was like, this is a nonsense question. I don't even want to answer this one. How can we speed past it? So we're gonna speed past it. We're gonna hit the Broncos versus the Chargers. They're at the Chargers. Let me ask y'all this: Is Russell Is Russell Wilson just having too much fun with Sierra, and that's why they're dipping a little bit? I personally think that's why. I think that's why he's struggling for real. Because like for real, Denver, Russ, you chose Denver, and I know Sierra was tight about this, bro. Like I'm gonna say the Chargers win just because I know Sierra's pissed. Are y'all rocking with the Chargers too, or are the Broncos? Are the Broncos like gonna?
Somebody else want to go first this time?
I'm rocking with the Chargers.
Okay.
Nathaniel Hackett looks like he's head, bro. Bro has no idea what he's doing. He hired some dude like a game day consultant. Like, bro, you're insulting yourself. What you doing? I don't know, man. I like Russ, but I feel like what we know Russ for is not what he's been the last few years, right? Russ is the magician in the pocket, though. Like, his best plays come from him making plays out of broken plays.
Those extended plays, yeah.
Extended plays.
Yep.
That's what we know Russ to be. All them days in Seattle with that horrible O-line, we don't really know Russ to be anything other than a three-step guy or scrambling around a pocket. I got a guy 30 yards downfield on the other side of the field kind of people. That's what we learned Russ about that. We're not seeing that. I don't know if this is an adjustment with him being in Denver, new coach, new everything. But I feel like the elites figure it out, and it wouldn't look this bad. Really.
Okay.
I got my question. I'm concerned that they might even finish worse than the Raiders.
Oh, could you read that last part? I couldn't hear that last part. You said that. You said what about it?
I said I wouldn't be surprised if they finished worse than the Raiders in the division.
Broncos could finish worse than Raiders in the division. Okay, all right, that's right.
The Raiders
Come
have.
on.
Like
that's tough. That's tough.
Josh Jacobs is running the ball like a madman. You know, you got Devontae Adams, who is Devontae Adams. You don't really got to go into that. I don't really see much of anything encouraging on Denver's side. Offensively, they have a good defense, but
to be fair, they're 2-1 right now. And the Chargers are 1-2. I'm just saying, like that. Like that's tough. That's tough. Because like right now, you're saying the number 2 team is about to go past the Raiders, and right now you talking about the Raiders helps out my Super Bowl chance. So I'm really supposed to be rocking with you, but no.
The Chargers is the answer to that.
Okay. Fred, what? You shaking your head? What's up?
Yeah, man. He stresses me out sometimes. All right, after all that mess, you talked about the Chargers. Anywho, right now the Chargers team seems as broken as Justin Herbert's ribs. So their defense is not what I expected it to be, and then they just lost Joey Bosa. All right, with what we have seen in Denver, they could easily be 3-0. I know Hackett has had some terrible late game management. They could be 3-0 if they manage the game better versus Seattle, right? And then what we say, as bad as Russ has played, we've seen teams that eventually went on to the Super Bowl, Tom Brady's first year in Tampa, right? Who started off rough and rocky, still managed to pull out wins that they probably shouldn't have had. They're 2-1, like you just said, bro. They're 2-1. Russ has only had one relatively good statistical game, and that was week 1. He's going to figure it out. He's still a top 5 quarterback for the past 10 years. He's going to figure it out. For whatever it's worth, the man finally missed the playoffs last year. Give him a break. He's going to be fine. He has the receivers. He has the running backs. They have the defense. And they have the kicker for sure. Now, the coach could have gotten away possibly, but I think Russ, he's a Super Bowl champ. He's been there. I think he can figure it out. As confident as I'm talking, I think this game will come down to how healthy Justin Herbert feels this week. If Justin Herbert is back to regular Justin Herbert, I think they edge it out. But if he's still laboring like he was last week, I give it to Denver to go up be 3-1.
Okay. And Rick, you said
I'm not rocking nothing Denver right now.
nothing
Denver right now, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. Fred, that was cool, you said, you know what I'm saying? But they played the Texans. You play 11-10 game to Jimmy Garoppolo.
That San Fran team good, man.
That was a nasty game.
The San Fran.
The defense is good, but I mean, come on, man. We all watched that game. Nothing Denver right now. There's just not enough firepower offensively right now. Like Ant said, Nathaniel Hackett, man, it's embarrassing. Some of the stuff that's been called these past, 3 weeks, the first 3 weeks, you got to do better, man. And offensively, just not enough firepower to go up against somebody that we've seen scare other teams. The Chargers have. Keenan Allen come back healthy. Austin Eckler get back going. Justin Herbert has, it depends on his health as well. But I think just offensively, there's not enough firepower out in Denver right now.
Okay. I got to say, week 1, I kind of fell off the Russ bandwagon. Like, I was quite. Seattle was motivated. I wanted Russ to win that game. They should have been 3-0. Like, I kind of look at Russ, look a little down on him. I understand it's your coach that made the call. I understand that, you know what I mean? You trying to do what the coach and the team say. You've been here before, though, champ. Like, I need you to take over and do what you need to do. Like, for me, Russell Wilson should have been able to say, look, coach, I got you. Sit tight. I'm going to bring this win home. That's where Russell Wilson should be from like a respect level in the NFL. So I'm looking to see the Broncos kind of do a little bit more. So I can't like say Broncos personally. Like I got to go Chargers just because I do feel like they're the better team. But I will say, if I had to bet on QB, I might have to go Russ, even though of that trepidation from week 1. Because again, I've seen it more.
Gino. I respect that.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's just me personally. Like I got to go that route. But I hear y'all though. Now this is the last one, and I wanted to save this one. I feel like it could be the best for last. The Bucs at the Browns. But here's the thing, though. They get Deshaun Watson back. How are we feeling? Ant, who you going with? Bucs or Browns? And again, this is with Deshaun Watson back.
Assuming everyone's healthy on the Bucs side as well.
Yeah.
I'm going with the Bucs, man.
Okay.
I'm going with because that defense is insane. I just think, if they could figure it out and do what they got to do, the Bucs win that game because at the end of the day, contrary to what Freddie says, that's Tom Brady. It's go time. I don't see much of the Browns because of the Bucs. I don't see it.
Okay, so you don't. Okay, so you got the Bucs. Now, Rick, it sounds like we giving Tom Brady a pass, right? But we're acknowledging that he's not the Tom Brady of the past. Mm-hmm. Sure, I did that. So, like, my thing is this. With Deshaun Watson now, you got the team motivated. You know what I'm saying? He's coming back. Like, he's trying to make maybe a statement game. Is this the statement game for him? Like, would that give you Would that give you a reason that, you know what? I think the Browns might actually beat the Bucs. Just because, again, he is a talented player.
Not this one.
Okay. Okay. So the Browns could do nothing for you, is what you're
saying? Not at all. I think before Deshaun Watson went out, I thought he was the top 5 Q in the league. So I respect him, but I expect Russ with him coming back. He hasn't taken a meaningful NFL snap. Year and a half. You know what I mean? We're going to be working on close to 2 years by the time he gets back, right? So I think Russ will play a little bit of part of that. Like Ann said, the Bucs defense is something to be fair. I think they'll do a decent enough job to slow down Nick Chubb. Not stop him, but slow him down a little bit. But at the end of the day is it comes down to if the Bucs are healthy, right? If the Bucs are healthy, they have all of their wide receiver pieces in place. By that time, Tom Brady will have figured something out. And like I said, I don't trust Deshaun Watson coming back after not playing meaningful ball in such a long time.
Okay. Now, Freddie, I wanted to make sure I saved you because you sound like you had the most Tom Brady hate. So I wanted to hear, like, is this the chance for you? You know what I'm saying? Like, are the Browns good for you? Are they delivering a W for Cleveland this week?
I got another basketball analogy for you. This year, Tom Brady is Michael Jordan from the Washington Wizards.
Oh my God!
All right? We're seeing Tom Brady in his Washington Wizards years. All right, and just listen. If the NFC South wasn't so bad right now, they wouldn't make the playoffs. But the Saints have been disappointing, and Carolina's been, no disrespect to you, Carolina's been disappointing. Okay, Baker Mayfield, whatever.
Yeah, bro, like, I ain't saying nothing about your bum Nick squad. Like, why you gonna bring up my
Hey, whoa, now, hold up.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't gotta bring
a little bit too much dip on your chip now. Slow it down. Hold up now. All right, listen, man.
My team got a W. I'm just saying, we about to go to the Super Bowl.
We made playoffs last year. Y'all made the playoffs.
You said what? You said what happened?
7, 9.
What'd you say?
Anywho, my bad. So Tom Brady is in his Jordan for the Wizards years, okay? This is his curtain call. It is what it is. Now, this isn't even about them, though. This is about the Cleveland Browns. We see the weapons that they have with Jacoby Brissett as their quarterback. I get the rust thing Rick was talking about, but I see we were talking about a Peyton Manning, right? A quarterback who's just all technical from the pocket. We're talking about Deshaun Watson, a uber athlete with a cannon for an arm. His arm strength isn't going to go anywhere. His legs aren't going to go anywhere, right? I get his accuracy maybe slightly off, but when you have one of the best route runners and Amari Cooper, who's one of the best receivers, it looks like, with Jacoby Brissett, and now you're throwing the ball to him, you don't have to throw him open. He's going to get open. And then he said, oh, they can bottle up Nick Chubb. Okay, if you bottle up Nick Chubb, guess what? What you going to do with Kareem Hunt? You're not going to bottle up both of them. And nobody bottles up Nick Chubb. He has that Saquon, I'll take one run and turn that into a 40-yard game on you, right? So they have all the weapons to pick apart that Buccaneers defense. We just saw Aaron Rodgers do it with less weapons. So,
nah, brother.
They're 2-1 right now, man, with Jacoby Brissett, and their offense looks better and better by the week, man. Put Deshaun Watson back there, see what happens, and put Myles Garrett on Tom Brady ass. Every time he rush him, he dropping to the ground. He's not stepping up in that pocket no more.
I mean, Myles injured right now, though.
What's up,
Fred? I got
Myles injured though. Right, you got to come back. Don't he? Or somebody's on their team injured, right?
Or which team? I'm sorry.
You talking about the Browns?
Yeah, they got Myles Garrett who's going to be there right up on Tom Brady.
Yeah, make sure he healthy, though. Make sure he healthy. I know right now he
don't get hurt, man.
Real quick, Fred.
What's up?
What, man?
Talk about Amari Cooper, bro.
Thank you.
Why?
Yeah, so
Why?
I was going to ask, like,
Why?
well, because you say, I don't mind you saying he's a solid wide receiver. It was when you said one of the best
route runners.
I swear you said
one of the best receivers in the league right now.
See, right there.
Based on the first 3 weeks. Based on the first 3 weeks.
I hear that.
The most inconsistent receiver in recent memory, bro. This dude is weird. I don't understand him. He will come out and have a 10-catch, 150-yard game and then won't be a factor for 4 weeks.
And disappear for the next month.
All right. 2 things can be true.
Till he shows otherwise.
The Panthers shut him down, but the Panthers secondary is one of the best in the league year in and year out. You got to give the Panthers secondary some respect. After that,
our secondary is one of the best.
The Panthers secondary shut stuff down. Their pass defense is great.
Oh no, I don't know. We be questionable.
Consistency standpoint, bro. It ain't about the talent
at all.
But so this is my point.
So he's too inconsistent, and that's why y'all feel like he should be higher. But if he was more okay.
He's still one of the best route runner, and what he's doing this year with Jacoby Brissett, you add Deshaun Watson to that,
bro. We seen Amari Cooper have crazy moments and disappear.
He gets 1,000 yards every year.
Any of that, bro. 1,000 yards ain't that crazy.
Now here it goes, but only 15 receivers a year get it. Okay.
There's nothing to score at though. Not everyone out there getting 1,000-yard rush. I mean, receiver.
Thank you, Trey. It's 32 teams in the league.
Fred, you gonna sit here?
I'm about to say, like, I'll say he's a solid starter to above average starter.
Fred?
No, he's a top 15 receiver.
Yeah, answer that question, Fred. Answer that question. Do you trust Amari Cooper?
Well, right now he's letting me know that I can't.
Not.
No, trust me. I've had a lot of Amari Cooper slander. He's still one of the best route runners year in and year out.
I agree with you. I agree with you on that. Yeah, exactly. That's the key right there.
But this year he showed up more than Devontae Adams.
That's crazy.
Amari Cooper in the moment and then just disappeared.
Still ends up with 1,000 yards every year. Okay.
He disappeared.
That's crazy.
Amari Cooper don't disappear, Fred?
He does. There's a lot of guys like that, though.
He got a lot of that in his career. Even from them Oakland days. Men just won't want to play football.
Yeah, just like Devontae Adams disappearing in Oakland right now, too. Come on, man. Or in Vegas, I should say. Come on, man. It's fine.
That's tough. That's tough to say. I don't want to say disappearing. But he just not on the best. I don't know. It's tough. That's
He
wild.
ain't got a quarterback
that's
that make every throw.
So I don't want to say that either because I feel like Derek Carr can make a good amount of throws. Like,
hopefully he can.
All I'm saying is Derek Carr was in the MVP race at one point in time in his career. I feel like that we don't say that about Daniel Jones.
5 years ago,
Even if the Giants get, you know what I'm saying? Like I think about that. Like I don't know. That means something to me.
Trey,
but I will say this.
Amari Cooper. 1,000 yards is a big. People try to just dismiss 1,000 yards receiving like everybody. Well, every team in the NFL doesn't have one.
But see, you say elite though, like no, I'm sorry, you didn't say elite. You said one of the better ones. No, but you say one of the better wide receivers. I guess we're thinking of the Hills, the Waddles. Like that's what when you start throwing that word best to it. So but I think we kind of agree he's not like an elite wide receiver. He's a good wide receiver. He's a starting caliber wide receiver.
I think he got the
maybe
rust
above
treatment
average
by being in Dallas because he doesn't show up all the time. But when he doesn't show up, he's for the Cowboys, one of the most popular team in NFL history, right? So whenever he plays bad, it's going to get magnified. Now we got a lot of receivers that's 1,000-yard receivers that don't always show up. They have a 40-yard game, they'll have a 10-yard game, a 100-yard game, a 90-yard game, then a 50-yard game, right? When Cooper does that, we notice it because he plays for the Cowboys, right? He's on TV every week. The same way when Russ played bad, he's always been the same person, but this year he was on the Lakers. So we're going to see it a lot more often on teams that worse. That's why it's not, that's all it is. Because he's 1,000 yards every year. That's hard to do. There's not 20 receivers in the league that get 1,000 yards.
And fellas, I will say this. I'm factoring in, all right, Deshaun Watson is coming back ready, right? He might have some rust, but I think he's better than Jacoby Brissett. So factoring in Nick Chubb and what he can do, giving him an Amari Cooper as a weapon, you can make something shake with that. Like, David Njoku is out there playing little ball right now, his damn self. So they might be able to make something shake. I'm just saying. It would be a little interesting to see how the rest of the season goes on. Like, let's say, for example, the Browns just won the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl contenders.
Frenzy. It's about to be a frenzy because if we go from suspension to Super Bowl, that's crazy. But, I would say if I'm a betting man, which I am on occasion, I might have to go to Bucs on this one. Teflon Tom, like I said, again, the man is a little crazy. He would rather get smacked around by Aaron Donald.
Tell him to get 200 passes.
Hang out with his wife. Man. So he's gonna do it next game.
I hope so. Who they play next game?
Very good question. Hold on.
The Bucs.
Just blindly saying stuff.
The Bucs play the Chiefs.
The Bucs.
He probably
got it.
Get that game. They're gonna get beat by about 14, but
Tom Brady going 278 yards, 3 touchdowns. Called.
I don't think he have it in him anymore. You gotta put that 70 pounds back on. He lost so much weight.
Tom. But look, fellas, that's all the time we got. That was all the Would You Rathers. It was a good segment. We'll oh my God, we will be back next week definitely. At least y'all free, definitely swing through. I'll be back. So, but Rick, hope you had a good time. Don't be scared. Say what's up. We got basketball as well too. You want to dabble in soccer, the real football, let me know. I don't know much about it, but I'm always down to learn. Fred, appreciate you as usual, and my guy. Definitely swing on back. Because trust me, we got to get you on the basketball one. Because you said we got some wild takes. So.
Amari Cooper going to score a touchdown next week, and Fred going to blow up the group chat.
He did it the last 2 weeks. 100 yards.
No, it's gonna get quiet. It's gonna get quiet real soon. No worries.
It's just gonna take the rest of the year off. Like
listen, just real quick, Trey. I played Ed this week in fantasy. He's scared as hell. He been texting me this week. I ain't gonna just let you smoke me like this. Yeah, but so I'll let y'all know how that end up. But
definitely. Well, I'm about to say, y'all can always talk trash on there a little bit too. Y'all can always talk trash on there for football.
Fred, I'm just glad you got a good winning record. You know what I'm saying?
All right, bye, man. I'll talk to y'all later, man. Here we go. Bye.
Real, I'm happy for you, bro.
Bye.
Sometimes, man, you deserve this.
Hey, you know I came out with money in my other league. I'm gonna bring my other league up again. You know what I did in my other league.
Here we go. Every time it's in the
baby.
My other league, Walker. I love you.
That's my name this week. All right, y'all.
All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all, boys. Sure.
Oh, I did not know you guys were still here. As you can see, we're at the back end of the show. No pun intended, but look, hope you all enjoyed it. And before you go, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow the IG account, share the content to anybody who's anybody. And most importantly, leave your thoughts and comments below. But I got to go back and play Buddy in 2K, so let me unmute him real quick. Excuse me. Hey, boss, I'm back. Nah, you better catch this word. You know we get buckets around here, too.